Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
What's up, what's up, what's up? And this is your host, Mark Roxey, and you're listening to The Boxing Breakdown, where we break down every aspect of boxing. Super happy that you're here with us today, and I have a wonderful show again today for you. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. And, if you like the podcast and you want to support it, please go to www.patreon.com/theboxingbreakdown and make a contribution. It'll help us keep the program going. We really do appreciate that. And today on the program, I have the one and only Cornelius K9 Bundrage, who is an absolutely amazing boxer and person, a man of God. He's quite a fantastic human being to interview, and I'm delighted that he's going to be here today in the studio with us. So I just want to give you a little bit of background on Cornelius Bundrage. He was born on April 25th in 1973. He's an American professional boxer, and he is a two-time former world champion. He's held the IBF junior middleweight title twice between 2010 and 2015. In 2006, he was a contestant on the season 2 of one of my favorite all-time programs, The Contender, which was back in the day a reality TV show, even before reality shows were a thing. And he was on that program, and he was absolutely captivating. And that just kind of set off a chain reaction in his career. So K9, as he's affectionately known, woof, woof, right? Or arf, arf, as he would say. He started out in boxing pretty much, for his professional career. Bundrage was a top prospect. He remained undefeated for over 10 years, which saw his record at 21-0 with 13 KOs. As his alias, K9, suggests, Bundrage had a reputation of being a dog inside the ring, damaging his opponents with fierce combinations. Cornelius, his professional boxing record stands at, I believe it's 32 fights, 32-4 with 19 KOs. And Bundrage basically shared the ring with 7 world champions during his professional boxing career. Bundrage is currently a world champion boxing free agent. He's also, I guess he advises and manages. Actually, no, he doesn't manage himself. He's actually managed, I believe, by Shawana Bundrage, which I believe is his wife. And we'll find out later on in the program when he gets on, but he is managed by Mrs. Bundrage. And, he's an absolutely incredible interview. And, his professional career, you can read all about him online if you want to get, just Google him and you can read all about him. And he has a bunch of enterprises going on right now, and he's doing very, very well for himself. He's fought people, you may or may not know, like Qasim Umar. He's fought Jamal Charlo. He's fought Yuri Foreman. He's had quite a stellar career. And after 4 separate setback losses, 2 IBF eliminators, and a no contest, Cornelius Bundrage finally got his questionable title fight with former undisputed welterweight champion and then current IBF light middleweight champion, Mr. Corey Spinks. And that took place on August 7th, 2010, and it was at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, in the U.S. of A. And Cornelius traveled to his opponent's hometown and scored an impressive 5th round knockout over Spinks. Besides capturing his dream of becoming a world champion, Bundrage also brought a major championship back to his hometown of Detroit, Michigan. There hadn't been a Detroit world champion in 26 years since Tommy Hearns was the world champion. Bundrage was able to pressure Spinks throughout the fight, cutting off the ring, landing good shots, and basically dropping Spinks. I believe he got a TKO in that fight. And Bundrage went on to be the new IBF light middleweight champion of the world, which only a handful of people could ever say they've achieved. So he's an amazing man. And without further ado, what I'd like to do is I'd like to welcome my brother and the one and only Cornelius K9 Bundrage. Yo, what's up? Cornelius K9 Bundrage, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm good. We live now?
Yeah, man, we live.
Okay. Yeah. One love, my brother, one love.
Yeah, what's going on? You made it home safe?
Yeah, I made it home safe, thank God, man. You know, I'd be up in the air sometime panicking, boy. I get to hit a little turbulence. I'm like, uh-oh, God, Lord Jesus, please help me.
You and me both, man. I cannot. I freak out when I get up in the airplane. Right. You know, you don't know what they're doing up there in the front.
Absolutely, exactly. We twins. We don't know if the brother done had a bad night and he said, I'm done, or what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man? How was the trip? How was you were down in Miami, right?
I was in Florida. Yep. I can't really tell you what part it was, man. I just, they fly me in board and come pick me up and take me to the venue, and it's been like that my whole career. I won't even know. I know what city I'm in, but I won't know exactly where I'm at.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's how the movie stars go. That's how the movie stars do it, brother. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm the Black Rocky.
Yes, you are. You more than that. Yeah. You more than a Black Rocky, brother. You are quite a boxer, quite a pugilist, and I just want to tell you, man, I'm delighted that you're here and that you took the time out of your day. I know you just flew in and just landed up in Detroit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
And I just want to, acknowledge you for that and thank you for being on the Boxing Breakdown and spending a little time with me.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you're a good Christian brother. So
that's what's up.
That's always.
Amen. Yeah. So
absolutely.
I got so many things I want to ask you and so many things I want to talk to you about. I think the listeners on the Boxing Breakdown, they may or may not, recall your early career.
Okay.
And they may know maybe like the last 3 or 4 years, but I've been following you for many, many years. And, I have so many questions for you. So first of all, how are you dealing with COVID-19 and how's that affected you?
To be honest with you, it's actually gotten better for me and my family and for my son, who's actually boxing now too, because he done graduated too. So now he has more time to focus on boxing. Once he would come from school, he'll be so tired.
Yeah.
But now that he done graduated at the time that it's the COVID, he he's doing much better, and I'm closer to my family now because you're spending more time at home than you were gone or out and about. So
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, it's
That's
really
a
actually better.
beautiful, beautiful thing. And what a blessing, right? What a
Yeah,
blessing. Yeah, man.
definitely,
For you to be
definitely.
able to get close to your family, closer to your family, and really,
Yes,
I experienced the same thing here, and so I can relate to what you're saying because, uh, you know, we run around so much and we're so busy. We keep ourselves busy. It's the nature of what we do. And,
yeah,
when we had to get stopped in our tracks, it certainly, brought back into focus what is most important, which we always knew. But, sometimes life has a way of just moving, going so fast that we don't take that time to stop and pause and really, you know, spend time with our family that way. And I'm sure your children are super stoked and, happy that you're there.
yep. It kind of reminds me when I fought over in United Kingdom,
Yeah.
some years back, where they were moving like really slow compared to us over here in America. So once I got back home from being out there for like maybe a week and a half,
Yeah.
man, I just looked at the world over here in America like, man, we moving too fast because they were so slow over there, and I was
Yes.
like, man, we moving too fast over here.
You know what? Not a lot of people get to experience that and understand, have that perspective because you're absolutely right. Here in America, man, everything is like a mile a minute. And
Yes,
if you're not doing a mile a minute, something's up, right? So
absolutely.
we got to grind so hard at a mile a minute, if not, 2 miles a minute, just to make ends meet and make things happen, right? So,
Yeah,
so that's what's
yeah.
up. But I just want to thank you again for being on the program and hanging with me on your Sunday. It means the
That's
world to
right.
me, man, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to dig into this stuff. I am.
Let's
Arr,
get
arr,
into this
arr, there you go,
champ. The
yo,
dog is coming.
K9.
Yeah.
I got a let me roll this for you. I put in a special effect just for you. Check it out. This is
Okay.
in
All right.
honor of Cornelius K9. K9. Woo woo. Bundrage.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is, the one and only K9. So, what'd you think of that?
I didn't hear it. What? I
Oh,
didn't hear it.
oh, you didn't hear it. Oh, you can't hear it. Only I can hear it. I get it. All right. So
Yeah. I'm like, I'm
yo,
like, what happened?
I just rolled a sound effect of
Yeah.
of these dogs barking, man, like woo 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 woo, like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. In your honor, bro. And so, how did you get into boxing? How
Yeah.
did you come to boxing?
Yeah. I actually was, a guy from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? That was just, in a little trouble, in a lot of trouble, to be honest with you. Didn't have a dad.
Yeah.
The streets was like a part of my family. I got, what I'm saying, blessings. I felt like it was blessings on doing bad things because every time I did something that wasn't good, like selling drugs,
Yeah.
knocking guys out for nothing, they
Yeah.
would look out for me. So I thought that was the thing to do, to knock guys out, because I'm getting patted on the back. They told me, that's my dog. Then I got closer to Christ, you know what I mean? And, I actually grew up in church, but didn't understand who God was.
Amen.
And actually changed me. I started realizing, like, hey, man, this stuff ain't really right. So God actually sent a young man named Billy Summers to me. And he had heard about me, how that I could fight. And so he rolled up on me, was like, man, what's up, man? I heard you can box a little bit, you can fight. I said, yeah, man. I said, man, I knocked Mike Tyson out. I was, I was, I was pretty cocky. I didn't understand that boxing was actually a hard sport. You got to train and all that.
Oh
So
yeah.
once he took me to the gym, boy, I got tired. I was like, man, maybe I need to go back to the streets because this boxing is not no joke. But I hung in there, and
Wow.
years later I became a two-time world champ. So
Yo, that's
thank
what's
God.
up. Amen. Praise God is right, man. That's
Yeah,
incredible. So you were rolling in the streets and you were getting in
yeah,
trouble and
yeah,
and you just like so he just took you into the boxing gym and
yeah.
yeah, and then you just Did you do any how was your amateur career?
Yeah, I actually only had 10 amateur fights.
That's what's up. That's
10
what's up.
amateur fights, man.
Wow.
So it's definitely a blessing to become a two-time world champion with only 10 amateur fights because you don't have a lot of guys that had, them few fights, a few of them little fights, like 10 amateur fights and do as well as I did. So,
Oof.
definitely it was God in my life that blessed me to be able to become a world champ because it's hard. Nobody knocked down my door to be my manager, my
Wow.
promoter, because I didn't win no nationals. I mean,
Yep.
shoot, I didn't do a hardly nothing. And I mean, I won the Golden Gloves, but the Golden
Yeah.
Gloves is a little overrated. You know what I mean? When you ain't won a national Golden Gloves, I hear
Right.
a lot of people all the time. They be like, "Yeah, my granddad fought in the Golden Gloves." You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Golden Gloves is pretty. I mean, it's an accomplishment. Just to be up in the ring, period, and then winning Golden Gloves, whatever. But like, I took it to a higher level when I turned pro. And I did a lot of things in the pro game too. Like I fought on that Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis undercard.
Yeah.
That was like the very first time I ever flew on an airplane. And man, I was excited to be on that flight. I mean on that undercard, but not excited to be on that flight.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Like me. We would have been clinching the armrest, like closing, oh Lord, please
Absolutely.
help us. Right. Yeah,
Right.
no, I got it, man.
Yeah.
I got it. Yo, I think that's incredible, man. Knowing
Yeah.
knowing what I know about the sport, the inner workings of the sport,
Yeah.
to think that I mean, the fact that you didn't have such an amateur career. I mean, look, Canelo Alvarez didn't have much of an amateur career. The Boxing Breakdown folks, they know who Canelo Alvarez is. I'm sure they
Yeah.
they follow guys like that. He didn't have
Yeah.
an amateur career either. I mean, a lot of really great fighters had very, there's both sides of that coin, right? And
Yeah.
and and that's why, like, you can hear it in your voice how God has lifted you up. You can actually
Yeah.
hear in your voice, K9, you can hear how clear you are. Like a lot of guys that have a record of 36, and 6 with 20 KOs, and that's that's a lot of boxing. That's a
Absolutely,
lot of
and
boxing.
in a later years too, because remember, I won my first world title at 37, and my second
Wow.
world title at 41. So you would think that late in the game like that, at the end of my career, it was definitely a chance I would be punch drunk.
Yeah. But in
Yeah,
fact, God, he cloaked you, man. He put a shield on you and brought you through that fire to your promise. Look at that.
absolutely. The first should be last, and the last should be first.
There you
So all
go.
you, all your viewers need to check out the Contender on my YouTube channel, K9 Boxing. Definitely, it's something. It's inspiring.
Yeah, yo, K9 Boxing Breakdown fans, check out K9 Boxing. K9 Cornelius Bundrage is doing lots of stuff online, man. What else? What else you got online that you're
Yeah,
running?
yeah. I mean, yeah, just I'm on Instagram as K9 Boxing, Facebook K9 Boxing. But what I really want people to subscribe to is my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
K9 Boxing. I break down a lot of fights, man. A lot of fights, a lot of my wins, my big wins. When I fought on the Contender,
Right.
when I beat Corey Spinks the first time and fought him again on Showtime the second time, and that was actually the last time Emmanuel Stewart was actually on TV. Was in my corner. The great Emmanuel Stewart, who I believe is the greatest trainer of all time, who had more world champions than any other trainer
Yes.
at the Kronk gym.
That's
He was
what's
in my
up.
corner for his very last time he was ever on TV, and it was
Oh,
just a blessing to be able to witness that and to be able to be a part of that.
amen.
And may God rest his soul. Definitely, I learned a lot from him.
Yo,
Yeah,
you just broke, you basically took my can and you popped that thing open, because I have all kinds of things I want to talk to you about, specifically about what you just said, which is, like, so what was it like training? First of all, what was it like training in Kronk? Tell the
oh,
boxing breakdown listeners what is it like for Cornelius K9 Bundrage to get up every day and roll into the Kronk gym? What's up with that?
yeah, yeah. So now when we say Crunk too, because it's a few Crunks, it's some new Crunks. We talking about the original Crunk gym. The
Yeah.
one with Tommy Hearns and Lennox Lewis trained that,
Wow.
and maybe even Klitschko. I don't know if they ever came to the original Kronk, but
Yeah.
Prince Nassim, Layla Ali, Gerald McCullen, James Tony. I mean, the
Run
list
it.
goes on.
Run it.
Floyd
Run it.
Mayweather. You know
Run
what I mean?
it.
So we talking about some bad people.
Right.
And in my day and era, at the time that I was actually there, actually boxing, I kind of did my thing there. All the great fighters and the fighters that probably would have put something on me, they had moved on or had got older and wasn't in the game no more. So I held Crunks down. I actually
Wow.
held Crunks down at the time that I was currently on my up climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.
And yeah. So if you actually wanted to be on the Crunk team, Emmanuel Stewart would have you spar with me, and if you didn't get past me, he would send you home. And
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you got
yep.
to come into the gym and you got to roll with K9 to
You
get
got to go through K9 to get to Emmanuel to
what?
get on the Crunk team. Yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
up. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. So I sparred Andy Lee, the very first person. Andy Lee, a former world
Yeah.
champion out of Irish. I mean, Ireland.
Yeah.
And yeah. So he was one of the guys I sparred, and he passed the test. He's a good fighter. Probably one of the hardest guys I ever sparred with ever. But he
Wow.
was one.
Really? Andy Lee,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah,
Oh yeah, I sparred.
he's from Gleason's. He's in Gleason's all the time up in Brooklyn, in New York.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I've seen him a bunch of times up there, man. He training
yeah.
hard. He's listen, amazing that you said he's one of the hardest guys you've ever fought. That's incredible.
Yeah, sparred. Yeah. Yeah, Andy Lee, a bad man, boy. I'm telling you, he know how to. The way he spar. I mean, the way he box, it's like he's dancing. The guy is really just
Yeah.
unbelievable. The
Yeah.
guy definitely is unbelievable. Yeah. But I've fought some of the some of the big names that that you might know and don't know. Like when Tyson Fury actually came to Crunk, the first person he sparred with was me.
How wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. Boxing
Yeah.
Breakdown fans, just so you know, like you're a super welterweight. You were a super
Absolutely.
welterweight, right?
Yes.
And so Tyson Fury is a what?
A heavyweight, and
Yes,
he's standing 6'9".
yo, he's a super
Yes.
heavyweight. He's
Super
like a
heavyweight.
super heavyweight.
Yeah.
And you boxed him?
Man,
You're a bad
yes.
man.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest with you, he ain't really try to put it on me because he was so big. I
Yeah, of
even actually
course.
told him
Of
he was the
course.
first person I ever told no, we ain't sparring because he was so huge. Like
Yeah.
I got to jump up to hit him in the face. But
You need a step
he,
stool to get up there.
yeah,
That's,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but he
but
actually worked with me. He ain't really try to, put it on me. He
yeah.
had the weight advantage, the height advantage, everything was to his advantage. But he actually showed me that, he definitely had the skills to become the person he is now. And I can see why he's world champ right now too. And holding the
Yeah.
heavyweight division down. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a serious fighter. He
Absolutely.
and I will tell you though, if I was in your corner, I'd be like, yo, K9, hit him with that overhand. You get him with that. You
Oh,
hit him with that
yeah.
overhand. You famous for the
Oh
overhand.
man. I hit you with the overhand. I don't care who you is, boy.
You
You're gonna
going
feel that
down.
one.
Yes,
You're
yes.
going
You
down,
going to
down,
sleep.
down. I
Going to
got you.
sleep.
Yeah, going to sleep. That's my shot, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was my shot.
Yeah,
I done
I
hurt
see
many
why.
people with that one.
And you got a lot of
Yeah, but
angles on that shot too. It's not just one. It's not a
oh,
one picture shot. You got
oh
5 or
man.
6 angles on that overhand right.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go check that video out on my YouTube channel, the overhand right.
Yeah,
Yeah, K9 Boxing.
I'm gonna go.
Definitely go
Yo,
subscribe.
I'm gonna go subscribe. Actually, no, I already did subscribe. So Boxing Breakdown, listeners, yo, please go to his YouTube channel, hit subscribe, like it, make a comment. That's what's up, right? We got to support each other, right?
Absolutely. Hit the
So
notifications too. Hit the notifications.
yeah. So, all
Yeah.
right. So, what was it like working with Emmanuel Stewart? What was that like being around him?
Yeah, Emmanuel Stewart just had a gang full of knowledge. Like when it came to boxing, oh man, he knew a whole lot. I mean, he knew more than a little, and he was good at anything when it came to boxing. And he was a good dude too, not just and when it came to boxing,
For
he was a
real.
giving man. He was very giving. If
For
he had it,
real.
he'd give it to you.
Did you ever
He was
stay with
really
him?
yeah. Actually, well, it was. I mean, I stayed at his house like in training camp, and I
Yeah.
actually stayed at one of his houses. To be honest, which I did stay at one of his houses, where it was like for fighters, fighters
Yeah.
that stayed there. Me, I stayed with Jonathan Banks. It was me, Jonathan Banks. Jonathan
Wow.
Banks is training Triple G right now too.
Yeah, I know who he
And
is.
he actually trained Klitschko too. But yeah, it was me, Jonathan Banks. It was this other heavyweight. He stayed in the basement. We had John Jackson, his brothers, and we had another fighter. It was like five of us, and Manny Stewart was paying the bills. You know what I mean? It was his house that we all stayed at.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
he a
yeah.
good
So
man. Good man for
yeah, he was
sure.
definitely a good man. He was definitely a good man. Yep. But I stayed over his house too. When I had fights coming up, like I can go over anytime I wanted to, really,
Yeah.
to go stay. Yeah, But yeah, I learned a lot from him. Man. He just was a real good dude. He was a good dude.
Yeah, and
But
Andy,
one.
yeah, good.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No,
And
no,
I
no,
was gonna
no.
say I was gonna say one thing about him though. If you crunk, you crunk. You lead crunk, and he have a problem with that part. So if you crunk for life. If you lead crunk, I tell you, he ain't gonna be happy about that at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Look,
Yeah,
there's this you know how the game works. I mean, there's people
yeah,
trying to claim your work all the time. So,
absolutely,
this is a
absolutely.
man that dedicated his life to training fighters and
Yeah,
producing a very, very unique brand, a
yeah,
unique fighter. And
yeah,
when you wear the Kronk, cloth, then it makes
yeah.
perfect sense. You don't go there and then go somewhere else. I got that.
Yeah, yeah, but no, but the thing about it though, you got to remember this too. And I'm just saying it just in period, just in general, is that if you're under contract, your contract is up. You're not liable to have to be, with no one if
Right.
if you're a free agent. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Like you.
So now, yeah, exactly, it's business now.
Yeah,
Right,
for
right.
sure. Yeah,
I
no,
had
you
to
got
step
you got to
out.
feed your family. You got to make things work.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep, yep. So
So,
yeah, yeah,
one of the first times I was able to to actually see you fight was
yeah,
on a large screen TV when you appeared on the the Contender. The it was
yeah,
basically a reality show in a way when reality shows weren't even invented. It was like way
yeah.
up in the beginning, and
Absolutely.
and K9, that was one of the best television programs for boxing they ever made. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
so
yeah.
tell, how was
Absolutely.
that? What was that like? How did you get the call? And then what was it like being on it?
Yeah, it was actually it was fun after the show was over with because it was real strict. You got to remember that they are actually trying to produce a reality show, boxing show that it needs to be entertaining. It was very strict. They took your phone from you. You couldn't be around nobody but a whole bunch of dudes. Kind of reminded me of jail. In jail. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know too much about jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
thank
I'm just
God.
saying, like, all I know is you around a bunch of dudes, so it can get really heated, especially when you don't really know each other and
Yep.
you all got to fight each other.
Yeah.
And even though we had teams, the blue team was versus the gold team,
Yeah.
I just still had an attitude, because I just missed my family, man. It was like been around all these dudes. I can't. It's like I'm on punishment, like I'm in jail. I can't go nowhere. I can't do nothing. It
Yeah.
was just strict, but after the
And
show, I enjoyed it
and
because it
and
made me kind of famous. Yeah,
and you have to roll with them too. You gotta have everybody is like fight to the finish. You know?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
That
But
must have been
it definitely helped
crazy.
my career. Yeah, it helped my career big time.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember most of the guys that fought on that show came out and did amazing things. I think wasn't Andre Ward on there?
Yeah, yeah. He hosted actually the last episode, which was I think in 2018. They brought the Contender back.
Yeah. But the
Yeah,
first one,
yeah,
the first one was fire. I mean, I don't remember a lot of the guys that were on it. Who were the guys that were on it for the listeners? And for me too,
yeah,
because I've lost track of a lot of those guys.
yeah, yeah. It was on NBC. Sergio Mora won the whole thing.
Yes.
It was Ishe Smith.
Yep.
It was Kadu. I can't think his name. But it was Kadu something. It was. I'm trying to think of the young man's name. It was a few. I can't really think of all their names
Was
either.
Steve Forbes on that? Steve Forbes was on
No,
that. No?
Steve Forbes was actually on the show I was on season 2.
Got you.
Season 2 was on ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a ball. You know what I mean? It was on my season. I can tell you all of just about everybody. We had Walter Wright. We had Grady Brewer, Vin Roy. We had Michael Clark. Remember all
Wow.
that barking he was doing?
Yeah.
Man, we had Ebo Elder. I mean, we had Freddie Carell. I mean, it was banging. It was banging. I actually don't believe that Steve Forbes should have actually been on season 2. I mean, just for the fact that he was a former world champion,
Right, right.
and the contender was supposed to have been for people that was never had opportunity.
Yeah.
But
Which is why I said I really appreciated the first one, because in the first one, they really did a great job with the narrative, like really pulling together who the fighters were, what their backgrounds were, and leading up to the fight. It was just really simple, but a great format. Shout out to Sylvester Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard for putting that thing together, right?
Yeah, but yep, absolutely. Because actually, they actually wanted me to be on season 1, but I had turned it down because I didn't know that the reality show was going to be the way it was.
Right.
I didn't know it was going to be that good because it was the first show ever, a reality show dealing with boxing.
Right.
I didn't want them to to try to rob me as far as my, as a fighter, because I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
I'm a real fighter. You trying to do a reality show. And I ain't gonna, y'all can't play with my career. You know what I mean? This is
it could
serious
end
business.
it. It could end your career if it wasn't a good show. But,
Absolutely.
That was a wise apprehension there, because you just don't know what if the show's gonna flop or whatnot. But I'll tell you what, the first season was fire. I don't care. I'm sure people, the mainstream, wasn't really interested in a boxing reality show the way that the networks really needed it to be. But it was an amazing show, man. That was fire. I enjoyed it so much. And then you go on, right? And you do things like, well, first of all, what was it like to be around Ray Leonard and Sly Stallone? What was that like?
Yeah. I was like on season 2. Sylvester Stallone, they gave him the boot. They didn't want him to be on season 2 because he was acting like he really was a boxer,
right.
And they felt like he was kind of like getting in the way. So he was still a producer of the show,
right.
But they kind of moved him out the way, and they let Sugar Ray, take more of the responsibility.
Right. Wasn't Tommy on the show too?
No. Tommy wasn't on the show. Nope. He wasn't on the show, but they had a lot of special guests like Shane Mosley. They had everybody come in, like football players from the NFL and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Remember the Olsen twins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of they was over the show. I mean, they had a lot of special guests.
Right, I remember that.
Special guests.
They come filing into the arena. For the showdown.
Absolutely. The show was so huge, though. I'm gonna tell you, the show actually made me a broke celebrity because when I came here, I was here in Detroit, and Floyd Mayweather was promoting a fight, him and Oscar De La Hoya, and they came to Joe Louis Arena to promote the fight. And so I said, let me go down there and just to be a part of the promotions or whatever, just to go, show my face,
right,
to see the kind of reaction, I was going to generate or was going to generate. And do you know that Floyd Mayweather, when he first came in and saw me sitting in the front row, he said, K9. He said, I seen the power. He said, what you did to Bravo, Berto had your leftovers. He was just breaking it down, and I was like, okay, so the champ, he was watching me too, huh?
Yes, he was. Yeah. Imagine if you and Mayweather locked horns. That would have been fire.
And the crazy part about it too is that we were both world champions at the same time, so we could have fought.
Yeah, I know. That would have been fire, man. I don't know, with that overhand right, bro.
Yeah.
You know how the overhead. Well, no, it's one of the punches that Mayweather was susceptible to. You know that. That overhand right. I mean, so even
that's what Shane caught him with.
Yeah, Shane got him with it. Kodo got it with it. Kodo caught him
Yeah.
with the overhand right.
Yeah.
What's this guy? Oh man, a bunch of Maidana, right? Didn't Maidana?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people got him with
Absolutely.
that overhand. So
Yeah, the tripped out part about it though is like when I beat Corey Spinks the first time in St. Louis,
yeah,
Don King and Floyd Mayweather was doing some business, and Don King had loaned Floyd Mayweather 500,000.
right.
So I believe that in the conversation, Don King told Floyd that once Corey Spinks beat me, that he was gonna have Corey fight him, and they was gonna fight for the belt. But when I knocked Corey Spinks out, I got out the ring and I walked up to Floyd like, "What's up, Floyd?" And he was like, he
yeah, I
shook
don't
his
want.
head, put his hands up, and turned his back like,
He's like, I
I'm
don't want that
straight.
smoke. I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want that smoke. And,
No,
and
no.
the crazy part is I wasn't even calling him out. I was just speaking to him because he had told me K9 I seen the power.
Right.
So I was just, just kicking it with him. But I thought about it. I put two and two together.
Yeah.
He didn't mind speaking to me when I was a contender,
Right.
on a contender. It was a different ball game when I became a champion,
Yeah.
a world champion.
Yeah. When you laid you laid Corey Spinks out, it was a whole different. It was like, okay, this
Yeah,
is prime time
absolutely.
here.
Exactly. Now this guy's in position to actually fight me. And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't want none of that.
Unreal, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So so you got the IBF junior middleweight championship, right?
Uh-huh.
And then so how was that? What was it like getting there?
Oh well, I know we hadn't had a world champion in Detroit in 25 years. Let me rewind that. We hadn't had a world champion in Detroit in 25 years. So
What?
with me bringing the belt back to the city of Detroit, it was amazing. I mean, man, people were excited. I mean, the news brought me on a news station, and normally when young brothers my side, who I like my age or young brothers my color, go on and be on the news, it's normally for something bad. And
Right,
I was actually
right.
on there for winning a world title, and it was amazing.
Powerful.
I was able to throw the first pitch out for the Detroit Tigers, and I was able to, they were, like I said, I was a guest everywhere. I
Yeah.
was doing some everything. I got a chance to do a lot of things. I got a lot of perks off winning that world title,
Yeah.
and it was a blessing. It was a blessing, But the thing about it, the curse behind it, is I was signed with Don King. So Don
Ah,
King wasn't really feeding me like that. So
right.
you would think that me being a world champion that I was making millions and all that, but I
Ah,
wasn't. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
Yeah, Don King was, trying to get me to sign with him for a longer contract because he'd be trying to milk the contract
Yeah.
and pay the fighters here and there. And
Yep.
yeah, man, that guy, he is what they say he is.
Yep.
But I
Yeah.
didn't allow him to get me.
No, look at you. Look at you. Look at what you did, all the things you did in your career. And you've had an absolutely outstanding career and it continues. It's not like you just doing amazing things. And you did amazing things as a fighter.
Yes,
And you
yes,
got you got the IBF.
yes,
And then you defended it as well, right? You
yeah.
defended it. Who was your defense against?
I defended it against. Oh, guess what I defended it against? I defended it against the guy I lost my first fight to on Showtime, the
Oh,
double knockdown against the Coup Pao.
uh, oh boy.
Man, it was. I don't know if that
Sakia.
Tupac
Yeah.
song.
Sakia
Yeah,
Powell, man. Yo, he was
yeah.
he was
Saku, Saku.
Saku. Saku.
Yeah.
Okay, pardon me,
Yo,
Saku.
Saku or Pao.
Yeah, yo, he was fire.
Yeah.
Good
Oh
fighter.
yeah, I got him. I got him back though. Hey man, it was definitely great though. I'm telling you, man, that felt good. That felt as good as me winning the world title to be the guy that gave my first loss.
Wow.
Yep, yep. I defended against him. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So,
Unbelievable, man. And
so
you
I fought against.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go
no, no.
ahead. Go ahead.
You
What
go
was I
ahead.
say? No, I was going to say I fought against Ishe Smith in Detroit in a close fight. And do you know in a close fight, when you the world champ and you in your city, the fight's supposed to go to the person that's from that city and who's the champ.
Yeah.
Floyd, and they gave the fight to the belt
Isha.
to Ishe Smith.
That's
They
Floyd's
took
fighter,
my
right?
title.
That was Floyd. I
Absolutely.
remember that. I remember that
I couldn't believe
succinctly,
it.
man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Me and Ishe Smith, we cool now.
Yeah.
So I don't really speak upon it that no more really like that
Right,
because
of
I was
course.
really heated. But anyway, he had lost the title to a guy named Carlos Molina.
Yeah.
And do you know that I fought Carlos Molina and took the title back, and that's how I became the oldest world champion in junior middleweight history.
Wow. You fought
Yeah,
Carlos Molina in 2014, right?
absolutely,
Yeah, and then
absolutely,
you fought Ishe a year earlier, or roughly about a year earlier than that.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. So
yo,
yeah, I ended up getting it back quick. That's
amazing.
deep, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, very amazing. I
yeah,
asked God a long time ago, give me number big fights, boy, and that was a big fight. My whole, after I asked him to give me number big fights, I just had number big fights. But the tripped out part though, when I fought E.J. Smith, I remember Floyd, they asked Floyd a question about me, and he said, "What's that kid name in Detroit again?" And I'm thinking to myself, if we rewind in 2006, when he saw me when he's promoting the fight, he said, K9, I seen the power. But now we fast forward to I think 2012, 2011, when I'm
mm,
about to fight his fighter, is who that kid named from Detroit. He played a lot of mind games. Floyd is
yeah.
good at mind games.
Who?
You know exactly who I am.
Yeah,
Remember, you was the guy that said you seen the power.
right,
K9, I seen the power.
right.
And so he really good at mind games. He might be the best at mind games. I mean,
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali was good, but I think Mayweather he's the best.
yeah. He's slick, man. He's slick in and
Yeah,
out of the ring, and definitely,
absolutely.
when it comes to his fighters and it comes to
Yeah,
just gamesmanship around the sport, he understands. He understands all of it, and it's just really. It's actually quite miraculous to watch. It's extraordinary to watch his work. Outside of the
yeah,
ring. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and a lot of
Hey,
people don't get that, but
yeah, yeah. But I'm not trying to cut you off, but before I forget, now let me tell you, when I fought against East Smith, do you know that the Showtime didn't show it because they had just signed a contract with Floyd. Floyd had just signed with Showtime,
right.
but man, Floyd was running around the ring, get him, East K9, you ain't no K9, you ain't no man. He was running around trying to distract me, man. He was messing with my wife. I mean, it was crazy, bro. It was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't see that part till after the fight
Right.
when I looked on YouTube and they were making a big scene, a big out of it. But I didn't really take it serious like that because I felt like he was just trying to get in my head. But yeah, it was crazy, man. How they just allowed him to get away with murder, in Detroit. And I'm the champ of the world. It was a Mayweather show. It wasn't. Even though it's promoted by Golden Boy. Golden Boy gave that whole show to Floyd, and
Yeah.
that's why Al Heyman's best friend Sam kept telling me. And now I understand he kept on telling me, K9, better knock him out. Gotta knock him out, K9. K9, you better knock
Yeah.
him out.
No,
Because if I don't
Sam.
knock him out,
Yeah.
he's taking the title back to Vegas.
Wow. Yeah, then that's what's up. When you go
Yeah,
when you're in deep like that, and you're in enemy
absolutely.
territory and your promoter is like, waving the white flag saying, "God, this is your fight. Do what you want to do with it." And you're out there, you gotta produce,
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
real.
yeah. I mean, I was at a show with this referee who's from Detroit, and I had asked him a question about that fight, and he wasn't the referee or the judge that night, but I asked him, I said, man, what you think about that fight that I had with E.J. Smith? And he said, K9, I can't comment on it. And man, do you know later on that night after a few beers, man, he opened up and he told me that somebody got paid 50K or either 75K for my title.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah, I mean
Ah.
that's exactly what he told me. Yep.
Yeah, and
I I, I could believe it though. I could believe it. I can believe it.
look, you heard it. Listen, you heard it right. I mean, if you're in that deep and you know what's going on, you know what's going on. I mean, we don't
Absolutely.
operate in a vacuum where we have no idea what's happening around us. We know, when you're in the sport, like you're in the sport, and you just know. So I hear you, man. But even though that happened, you went on. I mean, you went on to do. You had even more
Yeah.
fights after Ishe. I mean, you fought.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You fought Carlos Molina. And you regained the IBF, right? You got the super welterweight title there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yep.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. 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 And I appreciate you, man. For noticing and following my career and everything, man. And being a child of God, man. It's just it gets
Yeah,
no better than that.
Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't get any better than that. This is, it really doesn't get any better than that. And this is a holding ground for what's to come, for your real promise. Those fights were just setting you up for what's coming.
Yes, absolutely.
Feel me?
Absolutely. That's why I try to always make sure I never had the big head, because God can break you down anytime.
Amen. That's right. Stay humble or be humbled.
Absolutely. I don't want to be humble. You know what I mean? I want to be humble without being humble.
Yeah, exactly. Stay humble.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be humbled.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
What would happen if you fought Canelo Alvarez? What would have happened there?
Know that me and Canelo, I signed with Golden Boy after the Don King contract. I signed with Golden Boy because Golden Boy, they had actually told me I would fight Canelo.
Right.
So man, when I thought knocked Corey Spinks out, I saw on the video of me knocking him out, I saw Oscar bump his matchmaker, and basically I knew what that meant. That meant that, you see why we not about to let Canelo fight K9.
Right. This is not a good idea.
They kept Canelo away from me. They kept Floyd away from me. They kept Canelo away from me.
Well, you can't listen. You can't fault them for knowing where the fire is. I mean,
absolutely.
If you run into a building and you know that room fire, you go the other way.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
that's what's up. I mean,
absolutely.
They are.
I mean, now he would give me some problems. I would be in trouble right now.
Yeah.
But at that time, he was just still developing. He was still learning. I would have did something nasty to him.
Right.
Trust me, I would have did something to him.
Yeah, but as we get older, things change a little bit, in that
absolutely.
way. But listen, your career, if half of the fighters in the world could have a career like you had, they would be blessed to have a career like you had and do the things that you've been able to accomplish in the sport of boxing. And I am sure you're continuing those things,
Yes. Through my son. My son had 50 amateur fights, at least 50 amateur fights.
Wow.
So he done won the Golden Gloves, and he done run ringside and all kind of stuff, junior Olympics. And then I'm training people too. So I'm training like some of the new generation right now. And I'm commentating now. So, I commentated at the Kronk gym this past Thursday.
Wow.
Then they flew me out. Ryan Rose flew me out Friday to commentate Saturday, which was yesterday, which was last night, the show in Florida.
Right.
So I got my hands in a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually running Demetrius Salida's YouTube channel doing K9 Boxing Live, where I actually interviewed Clarissa Shields and Shannon Briggs and just a bunch of people that or don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I know all those names you just said. Clarissa Shields, for y'all that don't know, is the truth in the female division. She's fighting in the what's her weight class? She's 140. Oh,
junior middleweight.
Yeah, junior middleweight. Right.
Junior middleweight. She went down. She went down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And I got a podcast, man. I gotta have you on my podcast. It's every Tuesday. It's called the Dog Pound.
Yo, I'm there. I'm there. You dial me in or give me the dial in, and I'm there, man. I'm there to support you. I'm there to chop it up and talk about boxing. And yeah, man, you got a boxing channel, you got a podcast, you got a YouTube channel. You're training fighters.
Yes,
you got.
I got my own gear. I'm redoing my website. I just had a website. It was k9-boxing.com. But I'm finna redo it and put it together a better one, because the guy who I had running it, he wasn't doing a good job. Like he didn't put the right things up. He meant well, but he didn't do a good job. So I'm about to hire someone else, to hook me up a good website.
Yeah.
But I got gear. I got gear too. I got K9 gear. I got K9 t-shirts. I got K9 gloves.
How do you get that stuff? How can the Boxing Breakdown people grab that? Where do we go? Where do we go to get your shirts?
Oh yeah, you can actually DM me on Instagram, K9 Boxing on Instagram, and I'll send you a shirt.
Yeah, man, definitely. Boxing Breakdown, you got that right? DM, right?
K9 Boxing.
Yeah, K9 Boxing.
on Instagram. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, man. That's great. I mean, you got everything rolling.
Yeah.
And
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I saw a couple of your boxing tutorials on the ways that dispensed of different fighters during your years
Yeah.
of boxing, and it's amazing. I'd love to get together with you and just break some stuff down, man, because you were throwing out some great knowledge there from being in the ring, and if y'all are out there, the Boxing Breakdown people, check it out, man, because you want to learn more about boxing and how to get it done right, go check out the YouTube channel. It's real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 I like the video I just recently put up. It's called "The Rise and Fall of Jermaine Taylor." I think that's very, very interesting. Yeah. You see that, Ted?
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I am gonna watch it. Word is bond. I'm gonna watch it, but I didn't see it. But I'm going to see it because when I was scrolling through the channel, I saw it there, and I'm like, oh man, I can't watch this because I'm gonna get on with him in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm going back. I'm gonna check it out. That my word is bond.
And watch Aqua Fighters too. Try to watch that one too. It talks about, people talk about awkward like it's a bad thing, and I was basically breaking it down. Awkward is not bad if you win it. I was told I was awkward, but I won 2 world titles. Chris Nassim was told he was awkward, and he won a world championship, or maybe a couple of world championships.
Yeah.
Roy Jones is an awkward fighter, and he probably is the greatest fighter to ever put on a pair of gloves in his earlier days, in his prime.
No, because the way the boxing, for those of you listening out there, this is my take, right? You tell me what you think, K9. That when you train in the modalities and the structures of boxing, you come up, you learn how to jab, you learn how to step, you learn how to slip, you learn how to do all the basics. But what happens is, as you go up the levels, as you go through the amateurs and work your way into the professional ranks, what happens is by the time you get to the professional ranks, the fighters that you're fighting have seen all of that. They've seen all of the basic, fundamental, the little yo-yos and all the little tricky trick stuff that people do in the ring. But when you have an awkward fighter who has the rhythm and the timing and the distance and the way that they manipulate the ring and the opponent, when you have an awkward fighter like that, it can be really complicated. So that's my take on it.
No, you on your stuff. Trust me, you know what you're talking about. That's why it's called, your show is called The Boxing Breakdown.
That's right. For real. And awkward fighters. I was training a fighter, and this guy, people couldn't figure out how to beat him. He's an undefeated fighter, and the reason is because he's so damn awkward and he's so untraditional. Nothing that he does is what you would expect him to do when you look at him. And I think that's what you do too. I mean, your style is very complex. Yes. And there's a lot you can do. You can almost do anything based on the opponent you got.
Man, yes. Yeah. I'm all over the place. Right.
You are.
Yeah.
That's why they put you in with Tyson Fury, man. It doesn't matter how big they are. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah.
Cornelius
but I get, but now Tyson Fury, that's a whole different level. If he wouldn't have played with me, I would have been in trouble.
Yeah, he would have put you out.
That guy is 6'9".
He would have put you to sleep. One shot, man.
Yeah, he put me to sleep.
Well, he'd knock you out of the ring, over the top ropes, hit the floor, and then you go to sleep.
Absolutely. He assured me, though. Hey, you're going to be okay,
bro.
You're
going to take care of you.
I'm just going to work with you. Yeah, so, right.
So let me ask you a couple questions. I got some current events I want to ask you about. Some things. Yeah. Tell me what you think about the Tyson Jones fight. What do you think about that?
Oh, you know what? That fight right there, I think it's really a dangerous fight for Roy Jones. I think it's a win-win situation for Mike Tyson.
Right.
I think it's a win situation for Roy Jones if he can stop Mike Tyson from hurting him.
Right.
Because he's getting paid like $10 million guaranteed.
Right.
Now if he can last on his feet and not get, because Tyson don't know how to work. All that it's an exhibition, nothing. It is a fight.
Tell him.
Tyson don't know the exhibition.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like I did a boxing breakdown a couple episodes. If you haven't heard it, I did a whole breakdown of Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. And one of the things I said in that episode was, when you hit Tyson, he's gonna go right back into the Tyson mode, and it's a fight for him. He's not about losing, whether it's an exhibition or not. He's got the warrior call, right? He's out there.
Absolutely.
He's looking to do some damage. So
yeah,
I think you're right, and I definitely, I'm gonna do more like an 80-20 Tyson. I'm going with Tyson 80-20 just because.
Yeah.
You already know when you get clipped with one of those shots, man, it's not pretty. And he's got old man power.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm excited about that fight. And the boxing breakdown fans and listeners, they know, like you talk about Mike Tyson. I'm from the BK too. I'm from Brooklyn and he's from Brooklyn. So I just adore him, man. He's a special man.
Oh yeah.
And the way that he's come along in his life and the trajectory, how God has really just empowered him to be just this amazing human being. It's quite amazing to watch,
Yeah. He's come a long way. I mean, I really hope he stops smoking so much weed. I'm saying,
for sure.
He definitely has come a long way. He's more sane than ever. He's in a good place right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Mike Tyson. That's what made me actually want to box. Watching Mike Tyson, I used to get a rush off seeing him. Off seeing him, knock guys out, man. Mike Tyson was my guy, boy. He inspired me more than any other fighter.
All
him
of
and
us.
Roy Jones.
Yeah, all of us,
Jones.
man. I mean, you gotta.
Absolutely.
He's royalty, man, and you're royalty too, bro. So this is about you. This is about K9. This is about Cornelius K9 Bundrage. I can't say that enough. I really, I have a very high level of respect for fighters. And for what you do and what you put out, I'm a trainer. I train fighters. I'm in the ring every day, right? But there's a whole other side of me that just is really passionate about the commitment and the what fighters put on the line to do what they do, for the pleasure of other people, man. It's a very, very noble sport in that way, and a lot of people don't get that. But, I just want to make sure that I comment on that and share that, with you, that you are noble.
Yeah.
Thank
you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Cause one thing I don't feel like that, fighters they're not appreciated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Well,
it definitely, it's definitely good to hear you say that,
Yeah, for real. And, that's my story and I'm sticking with it. And so let me ask you another question. What do you think about the 135-pound boxing division, including Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko, Devin Haney? What do you think about that division?
Man, you gotta go. Man, you gotta go watch that video. I got that whole division on my YouTube channel. That mug and it's fire.
Really?
I'm talking about, I had that up maybe about 6 months ago. Oh man, it's fire.
Yeah.
It's showing highlights of, I'm just actually showing knockouts.
Right.
Oh man, it's fire. I love that division. That division, man, that division might be the best division. It's not my favorite division, but it might be the best division in boxing.
So I heard someone the other night on the ESPN, actually on the PBC card, they one of the announcers was like, the 140-pound, 47-pound weight division is the best division in boxing. It's still the glory of all boxing, blah, 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 right? And I'm like, Right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at the 135-pound division. That division is fire. That is fire.
Absolutely.
I mean, the 147 is good, but a lot of the guys are kind of rounding, they're getting, they're in their prime. It's kind of winding down, right? But you got this.
Yeah.
There's going to be fireworks down there in 135.
Yeah.
Right. Starting off with the pending fight between Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. that fight's going to be fire. And in my last breakdown, I reported that Lomachenko kicked in the $800,000 to make that fight happen, right?
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
but what I heard through the wire, let's just leave it on the wire. I heard that it wasn't Loma that did that. It was actually Bob Arum. So I need some clarification. If somebody from Top Rank could clear that up for me, because I heard that he kicked that in to make the fight happen, right? So
I got you.
got,
and just to help Lomachenko's brand, they said he did it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I don't listen.
Yeah.
I'm making it clear to the Boxing Breakdown listeners that I am not reporting that as fact. I am reporting that as hearsay, and it's what I heard on the wire, and from very, very good sources, but which I will not give, but that I heard is what's up. So anyway, chew on that, everybody. Chew on that out there. And then K9, tell me what you think of the show.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I can get some out of him when I talk to him, Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
deep.
get some
That's
of that.
Deep.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know, man, because I'm coming on your show, so maybe we can chop that up.
Yeah. I want to have you on Tuesday. Yeah, if you're available, let me know.
I got
Tuesday,
you, bro. Tuesday is yours. Tuesday is yours.
Yeah,
you want me on?
Tuesday.
I'm on, bro. You know that.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you. Any more you need me any longer, or what? Are we good?
Yeah. So listen, I just want to ask you one more thing, and then we can kind of round this out, and we'll be done, right? We'll be done, man. I could talk. I could talk to you for days, K9.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you,
I'm
man.
the same way in boxing. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to boxing, I could do this for hours. I could just, boxing is my life.
Yeah.
So tell me, you saw the PBC show the other night, right? You saw it?
To be honest with you, I didn't, because I was commentating.
Ah, that's right.
I was commentating.
All right.
Yeah.
So I can't really.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and I commentated with Ray. Ray Flores, the guy who commentated. We commentated together on Thursday at the Kronk gym.
Right.
Then we both flew out Friday and commentated Saturday on different events. So we commentated 2 days in a row together.
Wow.
I mean, together in the first one, and then on separate shows on the next one. That's deep.
Yeah, that is deep. That's awesome, man. That really is. Well, good for you, man, because you definitely have a lot to say about boxing, and any broadcast team would be remiss not to have you on, man. They'd be very fortunate to have you on, rolling the fights from, that's what fans like, K9. They like to hear people that actually know it. They're in it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So So
I
anyway, I was going to ask you about the Shawn Porter, what you thought of Shawn Porter's performance, but I guess instead of asking you what you thought of Shawn Porter's performance, he fought a guy named Sebastian Formella, right? Formella, yeah, something like that. And the guy, I was blown away at how resilient that guy was. I think he was from Germany, right? Sebastian Formella. But Shawn Porter put through a beating. I mean, he beat this guy around for 12 rounds. Like he didn't take him out, and I think he could have taken him out at any time. I think he carried him. I don't. Yeah. From my opinion, watching, Shawn, he did the 12 rounds because he wanted the rounds on his climb back up. He wanted those rounds. But I was impressed by his work, man. Really good stuff. Yeah. So anyway, check it out. And then when I come on Tuesday, definitely. Maybe we could talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna see if I can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I actually left my phones here, so I wasn't able to go on YouTube. I was out of town. I had to actually buy me a whole new phone. That's why the number that you got in mind, that's my other number. That's my fourth phone now. So I gotta get you these other numbers too.
Okay, I'll be looking for that. Just text him over to me. And
Yeah.
can you just give the fans, the fans and listeners out here one more time, give them those YouTube, your channels so that they know where to find you?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at K9 Boxing. You can find me on Twitter at K9 Boxing, Facebook K9 Boxing, and subscribe and hit the notifications, K9 Boxing on my YouTube channel. And thanks for having me, my guy, Mark. Man, pleasure being on your show, bro. The breakdown.
Oh, that's what's up, bro. And thank you so much. And
that's right, bro. Cheers. Jesus for life.
Okay. God bless you. And I'll see you on Tuesday, brother.
Okay, my guy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.